Thank you so much for the rain. It's a real blessing. We'd ask you to bring more to us. You always bring it just in time. Father, we ask for blessings on our country and our county, that we will make decisions tonight that would honor you. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. All right, we have one speaker signed up. Mr. Joe Martinez, if you'll step up to the microphone right here.
Okay. Can I wait till later or got to do it now?
Right now.
How you doing, sir?
Good. You get 3 minutes.
All right. My name is Joe Martinez. Most of y'all know me. I run the fireworks out here on 59. I'm not the owner, but I run them. I will ban the aerials. I just don't want the definite to sign it, because if you sign it, doesn't give me a chance, and we're getting rain is what I'm saying. We've been getting rain. I understand we're dry. It's dry. I get all that. But I'm just saying, just wait a few more days. I mean, I know y'all, somebody can actually drive out there and tell me on Friday, hey, it didn't rain enough, it can't happen, and I'll shut it down. I mean, it's not one of those things that can't be done. But if you sign it, that's what I'm saying. It just doesn't give me the opportunity for the rain and whatever could happen. Thank y'all. I don't need the 3 minutes. That's just.
Thank you, sir. All right. Oh, man. Sorry. We're going to begin with our consent agenda. We have a few pullouts on page 26. For Mike Bennett, $40.48. Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One extension. Page 36, Commissioner Morales, $757.58. Motion to approve, please.
So move.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
One abstention.
Motion carries. Page 39, Commissioner Bruins, $1,555.08. Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Motion carries. Goliad Auto Parts, $1,679.85. Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Motion carries. Page 45, Commissioner Edwards, $519.48. Motion to approve, please.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Motion carries. Page 49, Highway Garage, $2,038. Motion to approve, please.
So move.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
One abstention.
Motion carries. Remainder of the consent agenda. Questions, comments?
Judge, you left off on page 45. You left off Commissioner Brumby.
I left off Commissioner Brumby. I did. On page 45, Commissioner Brumby, $415.94. Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
One abstention.
Remainder of the consent agenda.
You had a check to a law group in Victoria, check number 32281 for $3,800 for said phone calls. That's all it said in the Cullen, I guess. Okay. 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 Okay, yeah, I'll look at the invoice. Thank you.
Anything else? If not, I need a motion to approve, please.
So moved, Judge.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, receive Texas Department of State Health Services 2021 Annual Report. Ms. Camacho.
Good evening. We're with the Texas Department of State Health Services. My name's Jody Harper, and I'm the nurse at the Goliad field office. And this is my coworker, Candy Camacho, who's a community health specialist.
Could you move the microphone a little closer? Thank
Sure.
you.
We work for the Public Health Region 8, which covers 28 counties, including Goliad. Our office is located in the county annex on Franklin Street. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to briefly share some of what we do. We've given you copies of the Public Health Region 8 Annual Report and the Goliad County Report for 2021. On the back of the annual report are programs available through Region 8 along with contact names and information. The Goliad County Report highlights many of our local activities. We provide health and safety information to the schools, local daycares, and other community organizations on topics including hyperthermia, water safety, nutrition, and tobacco use prevention. Much of 2021 was involved with the COVID-19 response. As the report shows, we had 423 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 20 deaths in Goliad County last year. Over 1,100 doses of vaccine were administered by DSHS in Goliad during 2021. We currently have vaccine available at our Goliad office, and it's free of charge to the public. We're the only provider offering COVID vaccines in Goliad at this time. And we also administer other routine vaccines to qualifying children and adults. This fall, we plan to continue hosting the annual countywide flu clinic in partnership with Walgreens Pharmacy. Last year, 114 doses of flu vaccine were given at this event. We're working with other agencies such as the School Health Advisory Council, AgriLife, and the Wesley Nurse to promote health in the community. Our mission is to protect and improve the health and well-being of people in Region 8. To meet this goal, your support is essential, and we wish to thank you for it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, update mileage reimbursement rate to match July the 1st, 2022 IRS rate change to 62.5 cents per mile. Anyone have any questions on that? These are set by the IRS, obviously. We're just acknowledging that we're going to do what they say. If we have no questions, need a motion to approve that, please.
I'll make the motion that we approve the 62.5 cents per mile.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Lockwood, received notice of no new road and bridge material bids received for gravel.
We were asked to go out for bids on some additional on some road and bridge material that we didn't want to accept the bid on. There was apparently a miscommunication between our office and Mr. Bruns, and we sent out bids for, which was item number 9 on our bid sheet, and it should have been item 7.
Yes.
So we did receive a bid, but it was for the wrong item, so we have to go back out for bid.
Okay.
All right. Any questions on that? Otherwise, we'll take no action.
So you're going to go out for bid on that same material?
I'm sorry.
You're going to go out for bid on that one material item?
On the certified road material is what we need to go out for bid on, and we've got ads running. I think we're starting this week on that.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Next item is to accept or reject the fuel bid. Ms. Lockwood?
We just received one additional fuel bid. We rejected the last batch. We ran out again, and we received, did you receive a copy of the, she didn't send you, I'm sorry, okay. We received a bid from Moffett Services, and I apologize, I thought Stephanie had sent you copies of this, so I will get these to you, and then you can review and,
What is the number?
well, it's several, because there's different fuels involved, hang on. This is a company we've never worked with before that I'm aware of.
We didn't get a bid from them, did we?
So Oil Patch didn't bid again?
No, they did not,
Oh, my.
did not. So I don't know.
So,
They've got the prices here they have for all fuel types requested was applicable tax is 20 cents. The markup per gallon is 45 cents for a total of 65 cents. So I don't recall what we had before, but those were all rejected.
and who is this company?
It's called Moffett Services out of Cyprus. So,
Is that the only bid that we've gotten?
I'm sorry?
Is that the only bid that we've gotten?
Yes, it is the only bid we received on the second bidding request.
Moffett is a big outfit.
Yeah. And I'm assuming they will provide tanks and, because I'm assuming the other ones don't belong to us, they belong to
Yeah,
Oil Patch.
Yep.
So Oil Patch has to come pick up their stuff and Moffett have to come.
That I honestly don't know.
Can you
We
say,
don't show that we have tanks on.
do they have a minimum amount that you have to order, and do they charge transportation?
It does not say, like, again, I apologize, I thought you all had copies of this. I don't see anything about a minimum. So I will get you copies that you can review, so I guess
Just
don't
wait till the
take any
next.
action at this time till you have an opportunity to look this over.
Thank you.
I cannot believe, we got 3 distributors in Victoria, and none of them want to bid on this? And then there's
Yes.
Karnes County has several, and
I don't know, we presented all the bids we got, so we
DeWitt County
mailed
even
them
had-
out specifically.
With the volatility, I'm thinking they're gun shy.
Yeah.
well, so I think like Oil Patch was so many cents over their cost. So it never bid them because our cost fluctuated with the cost of their fuel.
Which is pretty much like these are, but Oil Patch, we sent them specifically a packet, and they did not respond.
Yeah, they don't set a certain amount because of the fluctuation
Yeah.
in fuels.
So it looks
So-
like these are offering 65-cent markup on their cost, it looks like,
And Oil Patch wasn't,
so.
they never were that much.
So what do we want to do? We want to table this till the next go-around, or
Do you,
what's
do
your
you,
choice?
do you remember what the bid was from Sunco? Wasn't it like 28 cents?
I do not, I can resubmit
Over.
them to you in the morning and let you look at the bids again.
Judge, I recommend
Were
we
rejected,
table it for now, and then, so she can send us both of those bid packets so we can compare
yeah.
Yeah.
the prices.
All right, we'll table the fuel bid until 2 weeks from now.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah, Table.
Item number 7, to approve the extension of the disaster declaration related to fireworks. I signed this, made application last week, and we have to get it approved within 7 days. I had spoken to Commissioner Morales, and he and the other 4 fire chiefs were on board with the no fireworks, as far as I know.
That's correct, Judge.
All you have to do is ban fireworks and it'll start raining. We should have done this months ago.
Should have done it months ago, huh?
So, anyway, this is I'm looking for an extension of the disaster declaration related to fireworks. It's really clear cut. I need a motion to approve that, please.
So I watch the San Antonio news, and they don't allow any aerial they banded the aerial fireworks, but like Joe was saying, he has a lot of ground stuff that he sells. This is his livelihood. Ben Zeller put on Facebook this morning that they are still holding back on the aerial, but they are allowing the ground, the sale of other fireworks as far as, and I'm not a fireworks person, believe me, but this is a man's livelihood right here, and I think if that's a safe deal to have your ground and not aerial.
With all due respect, I don't think you can make a determination on whether we're going to allow fireworks in the county based on whether it's someone's livelihood. The public safety is the issue and property damage is the issue. So whatever you decide based on that is fine with me. What's your pleasure, Mr. Morales?
Well, we haven't received enough rain, as we all know. I mean, we've gotten some, but ain't enough to amount to enough to lift that ban or that declaration. So my recommendation would be to keep it in place. Because, like I said, like you said, all the fire chiefs agreed upon doing the same thing.
Right. So, I mean, we can change our mind, but we have to have this in place
Correct.
in order to move forward.
You as a judge can lift it if we get a substantial rain.
Can I have that in the form of a motion, please?
So move. That it give you the authority to lift the
I need a second, please.
fireworks ban if we get substantial rain.
Need a second on that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, approve extension of wildfire threat disaster declaration. We filed that some time back, and this is just to keep it in place. We can change our mind anytime, but we have to keep it in place.
This is the burn ban?
This is approve the extension of wildfire threat disaster. In other words, we have an elevated danger of fire. The Keach-Bynum drought index currently is setting at 669. It goes to a maximum of 800, I believe. So it's just to keep the ability to have burn bans in place.
Does this still allow people to get permits to burn?
People can get permits to burn.
Okay.
I don't recommend it. I'm not sure. A month maybe, I think. I'm not sure. This doesn't lock us in. It just gives us the ability to do it. This doesn't.
Does this open us up for any type of financial assistance if we get into a wildfire situation?
I'm sure. Absolutely.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So, I mean, if we haven't filed a disaster, then it'll be tougher to get the money if it's a major fire.
Correct.
So, need a motion to approve that, please.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And this is the item number 9, approve the prohibition of outdoor burning. This is just reaffirming the burn ban that's in place. We can cancel it any time, but not yet. So I need a motion to approve that as well.
Motion to approve it.
Second, please.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is Ms. Martin here yet? She's not here. We're going to skip item number 10. We've got a lady traveling from Bastrop. She'll be here shortly. Item number 11, consider approval of interlocal agreement between counties associated with Operation Lone Star for law enforcement services.
Judge, members of the court. As you are aware, Goliad County Sheriff's Office is participating in Operation Lone Star under the governor's office. We received $956,000 in money from the governor's office for the execution of this operation. As such, what we have done is we have formed a task force, Lone Star, that includes Goliad County and 16 other jurisdictions. What the MOU that you have in front of you is for is so that we can operate jointly in each other's jurisdictions on directed actions as is required under the governor's grant that he put forward. So this is merely a formal document that, that is an agreement between the counties in order to achieve the Operation Lone Star. Does anybody have any questions?
If there's no questions, I need a motion to approve it, please.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you,
Motion
gentlemen.
carries. Thanks, Sheriff. Item number 12, discussion action to approve temporary part-time employee for the county and district clerk's office for the remainder of the budget year. Funds to come from contingent and uncommitted. Ms. Flores?
Judge and members of the court, I'm requesting that the court grant a part-time person for my office for the remainder of this budget year from July to September due to the fact that my term will end in December, or in case I were to leave a little bit earlier, that would leave one vacancy, and then I have an employee in my office that is running for office in November, and scenario, if she were to win, that would be 2 employees out of the office that the incoming clerk would have to train and get ready for the new year in January. So I'm asking that y'all consider giving me a part-time person for the remainder of July through September. And it would be just a part-time.
I have no problem with you doing that. However, I don't think we can take it out of contingent and uncommitted because it's not an unforeseen circumstance. So if you have money in your budget that we can do a transfer with, I have no issue with it whatsoever.
Well, I definitely don't have money in my budget for a part-time person. And it is unforeseen because I did not know that one of my employees was going to run for office and have the possibility of leaving. So that leaves 2 personnel that won't be in the office.
What say you, Mr. Morales?
Well, I agree. I mean, we need to get somebody else in there.
Oh, I think we should too. I don't have any doubt. It's just that this uncommitted and contingent fund is the slop bucket for the county. And we've discussed this quite a bit over the years. And unless it's an emergency, it just doesn't fit. The auditor want to weigh in on that?
Well, that would possibly. I mean, it's just the sooner you get somebody in there to train, it's a lot easier on the office because you're still going to have another person to train also. That'd be 2 new people you're going to have to train within a window of time. Is there any other funds that could be, we could get into?
Well, I have a question, Mary Ellen. The person running for office will be elected or not elected in November. And then you'll have, that person would still, I would think, would stay on November, December, and then take office in January. So are they telling you that as soon as they're elected, they're going to quit? Or are they going to, or
No,
what's
sir.
going to happen to them?
No, sir, it's just trying to get somebody trained. You know, you've worked with our office in the past. You
Yes, ma'am.
know how complex it is and how much, you know, we deal with the courts, we deal with the public, we deal with judges and attorneys. It's not just come in and, you know, you're
Right,
trained.
there are other offices, I think the sheriff back there in the back, I think he's got at least one officer that's running for office and may have already won. So he'd have the same situation. So, I mean, it just, I'm thinking you can wait until October 1st for the new budget and include the more part-time money would be my feeling on this. That way it would not be an emergency. That's just my thought.
Okay.
So this contingent and uncommitted, it never was an emergency fund. It is money that's budgeted in, extra money for unforeseen expenses, uncommitted. So this money has always, I mean, when Rusty got here, he said it was emergency. It has never been labeled emergency funds.
That's the definition of it,
It
Commissioner.
has never said that.
I'm not opposed to her doing what she's wanting to do. I'm just telling you that we use,
In our
This-
policy also, it says it must be emergency.
Must be what?
An emergency in our policy.
Well, if Lee's willing to provide some of those funds, will y'all agree to that?
so why don't we see if Lee can supply you the funds? Because we do this quite a bit, where we just say, well, let's take it out of uncommitted contingent. It doesn't really work. Is that your opinion? So we can let her, we'll look for the money, but I just don't think you can pull it out of uncommitted.
So we're just going to pass it and see where the money can come from and then.
Well, I don't know if we're going to pass it or not. We're fixing to vote on it.
Okay, well, I'll ask the treasurer to provide me some numbers for a part-time person, starting in July, probably the end of July.
Also, didn't we approve, or didn't you get another part-timer that's being paid by another organization? Just,
Those aren't part-time, those are summer help. They're students that are just kind of learning how to work in an office setting.
okay, so,
They're not provided funds through the county.
oh, I know, I realize that's what I'm saying, it's provided by another source, so,
Right. We're just kind of training them how to make copies, how to answer phones, you know, helping us with shredding or, you know, redoing paperwork, trying to teach them how to be a productive person in the workforce.
that's great. So you got one or two or three?
I have one
Okay,
who's doing a great job.
great.
So I'll make the motion that we approve her getting another employee if we can find a place to get the money from that falls within the legal parameters.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am. Item number 13, accept new medical insurance rate effective date October 1st, 2022.
I've got a contract got there. This is to, as y'all know, I got Williams Business Solutions to come look, see if they could get us a better deal. We've had meetings with them and also with TAC. We came to a conclusion that TAC still has a better deal that fits us for right now. Year before last, they went up 11.5%. This year, they were going up 5.5%. So what I've got in there circled is the new rate, no changes.
I thought he said 7.5%.
Was it 7?
I think it is, but I could be wrong. 7.70.
7.70, I'm sorry. And so it's a lot better than it was from last year, 11.5. So we just need to get it approved. And
Health insurance continues to be one of our largest expenses. If you want to lower the rates, you can raise the deductible and reduce the benefits.
right.
Otherwise, it doesn't happen. So we try to provide insurance for the employees that they can use without so much out-of-pocket expense. So if there's no more questions, we need a motion to approve the insurance for 2022, 2023. 7.70%
Increase.
increase.
Motion to approve that.
Need a second, please?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are you Miss Martin? Come on up. No problem. I have a proclamation here, right? Go ahead and tell us about it. That mic's on, I believe.
So I'm just filling in, so this is new to me, but this is a TDA grant, and these are all the policies and resolutions that are required for that. Let me get my documents. I think we have the fair housing policy. We have the civil rights resolution, the code of conduct, excessive force, 504, and the citizen participation plan, and then the limited English proficiency plan, and as well as the HUD presentation, which just goes over the Section 3 workers in the area that will probably be working in the project. The grant requires you to go out so many miles outside of the project area. So, and these are all just needed to pass and for signature by the court for the grant to go ahead and move forward.
So what this is if we don't approve this, there's no money that comes down from on high for these grants. So this is simply affirming to the state of Texas that we agree with the Fair Housing Act and the civil rights and the other handicap, the items that you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
You approved it last year, and I don't think that anything has changed.
Just one of the formalities of having the grant. We have to do it every grant that they have.
So, any questions for Ms. Martin? If not, need a motion to approve all of them, please.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And also, if you get a chance, a signed copy of the agenda would be great, or initial copy whenever you can.
I
can
haven't
give-
looked to see if there's other signatures. I've signed it.
Okay.
I think they're signed.
Okay, it's just the agenda, the actual agenda itself as well.
Okay.
She just wanted one of those two, so.
Give us just a few more
No problem.
minutes and
No problem.
we'll get them all
Thank
taken
you so
care of.
much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Item number 14, discussion action on the sale of county property in Precinct 1. Commissioner Edwards?
Yes, sir. I've been approached by several people concerning some county property that they're interested in purchasing. One of them is at the corner of Fort Street and 59, right across from Alamo. We had that property sold a few years ago, but when we did the title search, we found out that there's an old street in the original Goliad plat. So that confused the issue considerably, and we had to go back on the auction block with it, and no one came to purchase it. So I would like to consider getting that one back on the list to get it back into into our tax base. I also have a property in La Bahia that is on San Fernando Street, and it's adjoining Flores Cemetery. There's also a street on the plat that runs through the property that this person owns and the property he wants to buy. There's a street on the plat. It's nothing there but brush. But there's a street also in that one to confuse the issue. But I would like to at least, move forward with trying to get these properties back on the tax roll if I could, or if the cemetery's interested, we need to consider that. And then I have one other one that I've been approached from someone that would like to purchase it, and it's some floodplain property. And he understands that it can't have any buildings on it or anything like that. He just wants it for part of his backyard, more or less. So I guess today all I really need to know is if I can pursue getting this together and see if we can come up with a way to sell it.
You intend just put it have a sheriff's sale and sell it on the courthouse?
I know that's the only way I can do the property on Fort Street, is it has to be a sheriff's sale. I'm not sure, the floodplain property, I'm not sure if we have to give the original owner a chance to buy back before we open it to the public, or if they even want it, but we need to look into a few of the legalities of all that. But
All right,
every one of them come with a few issues.
naturally. Commissioner Bruns, Commissioner Brumby, you have anything on this?
I bought a piece of property years ago off of 622, and they had a title search, they had it surveyed, and they had it appraised, and all of that put together was the beginning bid on the courthouse lawn, and that's how a figure was come up with for that, and it was sold, advertised and sold. That's how that worked. I don't know what's different with the sheriff, if it's cheaper maybe, because that was pretty expensive to have all that done.
Commissioner Brumby?
Mr. Edwards, are they tax delinquent?
No, they're not on the tax roll at all.
They're not even on the tax roll.
We just own them. Nobody owns them but the county.
Oh, okay, it's county-owned property.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm
That's why
for
saying
selling.
if we can get them sold and get them back into the
Sure.
tax base, it wouldn't hurt.
So I'm going to make a motion to allow Commissioner Edwards to move forward with looking into what steps are necessary to sell all three of these pieces of property and get them back on the tax roll. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, discussion action regarding repair of sidewalks around the courthouse. Commissioner Edwards?
Yes, sir. I know of 3 people since Halloween that have fell on one particular place around our courthouse on the sidewalk that there's become so uneven that people are tripping. It's becoming quite a concern to people that have come to me, and then I've seen it also. And I know we've got a grant working to get this hopefully repaired, but I'm wondering if maybe we should try to get something done a little quicker, because before somebody does get hurt.
The problem is that THC won't allow us to do it until they give us the... So I had a thought on that, if you're willing to entertain it for just a second. The problem we're having with the sidewalks around the courthouse is that the sidewalks are not dropping, the roots are raising the sidewalks. That's the issue. Just think out of the box a little bit, if you would. I was thinking that it might be worth looking into if we remove these sidewalks altogether and put down a good base, whatever the proper base is, and then spray the sidewalk on like you would have on a running track, Well, what's that do? It's a rubberized material that provides some elasticity. You can make it any color, any design you want, and that way you're not going to have the same issues that you have now, because these roots are going to continue to push up. They're going to continue to disjoint the sidewalks, and it's just going to be an ongoing issue. And I was thinking that primarily the sidewalks used for walking around in the evenings, and if it was a walking track that was, I'm not the one to pick the color or the design, but it would eliminate the disjointed sidewalks. And I think you can make it look like brick, you can make it look any way you want to. It's a rubberized material that shoots on directly on a base.
How long before we hear anything from THC on the grant?
You're asking me how quickly the state works. I don't know.
And the grant was
I'm not opposed to doing it without the grant, but we have to have their blessing before we can move forward with it.
Well, that's what I'm asking with your idea that you threw out here. Is THC approving that, or will they approve that?
I will be in front of THC on Thursday in Austin, and I will ask them that question and see if I can't get y'all a prompt answer on it.
Yeah, at least if there was something we can do to just fix the bad places long enough to get their approval, you know,
Well, then you have to grind them.
whatever it takes.
That's the only way to fix a raised sidewalk at a joint is to grind.
I know we had a lady fall during Scare on the Square, and we had two ladies fall, I think at the last market days. And now there's some rebar exposed on the one over here on the south side that's sticking up too. So it's becoming an issue that, you know, somebody's gonna come after us if we don't
I agree.
do something.
So let me check on Thursday with THC, and I'll get back with you with what they have to say.
Great.
Maybe I can get approval while we're there.
Great.
So we can table that until the next meeting, and I'll tell you what they came up with, if you want to do that.
I make a motion, we table it until the next meeting.
Need a second, please?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're going to table that. Item number 16, discussion action on the progress of getting the county audit started. Commissioner Edwards?
Yes, sir. Since I've put this on the agenda, I've had some words with the county auditor that's doing the audit, and so sounds like he's got his work cut out for him, and he's got what he needs to do it with, and he's hoping, I think, Lee, didn't he say the end of July?
The auditor is scheduled to be here the 11th or the 13th to do their on-site testing and any other documentation that they have, but the audit is in progress and on schedule as we speak. So we're anticipating by the end of July to have it completed.
Great.
Take no action, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right.
No action.
Discussion action on diesel bill for the auditorium generator. Commissioner Bruns?
Yes, the auditorium committee received a bill the other day for diesel put into the generator at the auditorium. We had some problems with this bill. First of all, they got diesel, it didn't come from our distributor, it came from New Distributing. They paid $5.99 for red off-road diesel, and I just got diesel at my yard on the beginning of June was $4.40. So that's $1.50 around more a gallon. And I don't know who ordered this diesel, but we decided at our committee meeting that we're not going to pay this.
Okay, what would you propose we do?
Well, who ordered diesel from, it wasn't even our vendor. Who would have ordered this?
Do you know, Roy? Who ordered it? I do not know who ordered it. It's possible that it was Anna, the engineer, that handled the auditorium.
Yeah, it's my understanding that the diesel order for that and for the Goliad water supply were ordered by the engineer. It could have been ordered by Blaine Sullins, but I'm not sure which one. Because on behalf of the Water Supply Corporation, Blaine was working with the engineer to oversee the startup of those generators. So, and then I also know that Earl Henning was involved in a portion of it. So I'm not sure which person was responsible for making the order.
He was at the meeting. He did not order it.
Okay.
Also.
So it either be Blaine or the engineer.
So is there money in the money that was to purchase this generator? Was there any money to fill this thing up?
No.
No.
We waited a good while to get the city to sign off on the MOU. Prices went up, in labor and in materials. We had an overrun as a result. I try to look at it like this. We completely remodeled the auditorium and put an emergency generator in at the auditorium, as well as at the two water supply corporations at two of the locations, at absolutely no cost to the county or the city. So now we have a diesel bill, and it's higher than you want to pay. As far as I know, there's no returns on diesel, and the county, as well as the city, got a tremendous deal getting all that work done, and the standby generator. As a matter of fact, we had the standby generator running yesterday with the power off. So when the power was out. So everything is working there. And I guess if y'all want to make it an issue, you certainly can. New Distributing is not going to take it back, and they're going to keep on sending the invoice. But when you get $300,000 worth of work done at no charge, hollering about the price of the diesel is, I don't know. So, what's y'all's pleasure?
I would like to ask, first of all, how much is the bill? How many gallons did they put in?
They put 350 gallons. The total of the bill was $2,099.65.
Is it an overhead tank? Is it a underground tank? Is it a self-contained tank?
It's a belly tank underneath the generator.
Okay. Does the auditorium committee provide us with an accounting of do we know how much money is in the account there? The auditorium account, and I'm not sure what we call that, but how much money do we have in that account?
So at our last meeting, we're about to get our insurance bills in, and that's one of the other agenda items is to.
I'm not asking.
I know that, but.
I'm asking how much money is in the account.
We'll, after we pay this insurance, we'll be way in the hole.
And what is way in the hole?
I don't have the numbers in front.
We'll be in the red? You're saying we'll spend?
In the red, you're right. Yep.
Last time I heard, we had $20,000+ in that account.
Yes.
From the last time you talked to us about that.
So the city, last year put in $25,000 into that account, and as the bills came in, Rusty would pay 50% of the bills. All that was working out fine. There again, there's another agenda item later, but I can't give you that exact amount. I'm sorry, I don't have that with me.
So we're talking about right at $2,000 diesel bill.
Right.
$1,000 per entity.
Yeah.
For a free generator for when it's cold or when it's hot and
Or-
people need or when there's a hurricane. and
Or when
people
there's
need-
no power.
Is there a reason they chose a diesel generator when there's a gas line right there?
I'm sorry?
Is there a reason they chose a diesel generator when there's a gas line right there? Why didn't they go with a gas generator?
You'd have to talk to the engineer on the project about that.
Maybe they should have talked to us before they did all this.
Okay. What's your pleasure?
I think we need to, we need the generator. We've got the generator there. We got diesel in it. We may have been a screw up on who delivered the diesel, but, I mean, it was a mix up one way or the other, but, we're talking about $1,000 for the city and $1,000 for the county. It's got, somehow or another, unless you get new distributor to come back out there and suck it back out, you know, we're stuck with the bill. So I'll make a motion, we each entity pay their fair share of it.
I'll second that motion.
Judge, I got a question on,
Let's vote on that and then we can,
well, this concerns that.
sir?
This concerns that bill. I don't, where do we stand with, we have a fuel bid that's been accepted that we buy fuel from. Now we're buying fuel from another company. Where is that legally?
As I explained to you, the engineer ordered that so that we could have the initial startup and test all the systems at the auditorium and the water well locations. No one has intentionally went around the fuel distributor. I didn't know where it was coming from. It wasn't part of my job description. The engineer, that was part of her job description, and she did the best she could, I suppose. Again, we have a $300,000 project, and we're asking the city and the county to chip in $1,000.
No, we had just got this last week, so. That'd be a great idea. Because $6 a gallon for red off-road diesel. It's crazy. It's not even that price at the station down here. So.
No one is saying that it's a good price on the diesel. But what I am saying is the diesel's in the tank in our machine.
I'll amend my motion and ask the auditor if she would be willing to call new distributor and see if she could get if she could negotiate a little better price for that off-road diesel.
And I'll second that amendment.
Thank you, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Discussion action to reissue the check for $12,566 to the Goliad Auditorium Committee. Commissioner Bruins?
Yes, June 30th of 2021, we approved a check to the auditorium committee for $12,566. The check was written, check number 29856. It was never received. We've checked with Lee, with the auditor, and it has never gone through the bank. So I'm here to ask to get that check reissued. I guess cancel the original check and reissue that check.
Gone over the contract with the city and the county regarding the auditorium, and I spoke with Sherry at the auditorium, at the city today. According to the contract that was approved by the Commissioners Court, we are only obligated to deposit $5,000 annually
Right.
to the city auditorium unless they fall short. Therefore, that the approval of $15,000 is outside of the contract, and we have to abide by the contract. And so we don't owe the city that money. I went through the records. We owe them $5,000 for the first year that we gave the auditorium back to the city to manage. So we do owe them $5,000. For the paperwork that I received from the city, the auditorium revenues are pretty much covering their expenses. So for us to pay $15,000 doesn't make any sense because the auditorium is holding its own. And Sherry agreed with me that we need to go by the contract that was signed. And I have requested bank statements to see what the balances are. The contract says that it will be reviewed at the end of the fiscal year, and if the bank account exceeds the $10,000, then neither entity is required to put money into that account. I know that you said the county or the city paid $25,000. Even if we take that, even if they take that 20 back and keep 5,000 in there, there's still a positive balance in the account. So at this point in time, until I can get the fiscal year statements to compare, we don't owe the county, or we don't owe that fund any money. Now, once we pay the insurance, or once the insurance comes due and they pay that, then the balance may fall under the amount necessary, and we will be required to put more funds into the account, but the city will also. But at this point in time, we have, based on the contract, we don't owe them that $15,000, and we need to abide by the contract. We can't just override it on a whim.
So this $12,500, that was a balance of the $15,000, is that what you're saying?
Well, that
Because-
$15,000 was what we had put in the budget.
That's correct, that is
But
correct.
it
And we made a
Doesn't
deal with,
correspond, well, just because it was in the budget doesn't mean we have to pay it to them.
Right.
We only owed them $5,000.
Right.
So we do need to issue them a check for $5,000. Sherry's going to send me a statement as of June 30th, so we can look at the balance as of today, and then we will determine how much we need to contribute for this year.
this was discussed before you and her had a meeting,
Right,
I
we
believe,
just
today.
met this morning, yeah.
Okay. But, so what happened to the check?
I thought it was mailed and the city never cashed it, is what
No,
I
she
believe.
never
We don't have it
received
in our possession, but it wasn't cashed, it never did clear the bank. And I don't know if they didn't cash it because it wasn't what they were expecting. But we had paid them last year
Right.
some money towards their portion of the insurance, which we shouldn't have done because we were carrying insurance on the property at the time. In fact, our insurance runs through June 30th.
Yeah, she never received it. She told me she never received it, so that's, okay.
Possibly so, but we spoke today and
Then
we
y'all are
agreed
work-
that
so y'all are
was kind
working
of a
all of this out.
Moot
Okay.
point, that all we really owed was the $5,000 for that initial pay into that account. And then based on the balances of the bank statements at the end of the fiscal year, if the balances were under 10,000, then each entity would contribute 5,000.
Okay.
And I don't believe that it's been under that 10,000 cents.
So some of the stuff we have discussed at our meetings is, it's finishing some of the repairs to the auditorium, down in the basement, the archway, that one wall on the south side is about to fall where the big metal door is. Complete the painting on the inside of the auditorium underneath the lower areas where the stands are. And then maybe do some electrical and work in there.
Well, the
And-
contract
What-
specifies what needs to be done if there's,
Right.
more repairs that need to be done than just basic stuff. They have to go out to bid and
Right,
bunch of
yes,
other
and that,
things, and then
and
the
we're
county
working
would,
on that.
if it was approved by the Commissioners Court in the city, I'm assuming we would
Right.
pay half of that excess. But as far as that check goes, we don't really owe $15,000 to
Okay.
the city for the auditorium. Does that answer?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Does anybody else have?
So you should
Question?
probably make a stop payment on that check.
Well, we stopped payment because it hadn't cleared, but like I said, I thought it had been mailed to them. I'm pretty sure it was mailed out. Whether they received it and chose not to cash it, or if the post office never got it there, I don't know.
So you've already done a stop payment?
I
Yeah,
believe it
okay,
officially.
very
I
good.
believe so.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I have one more question. Does the contract say we have to pay $5,000 even if even if their balance is more than $10,000?
Says,
You're saying you're going to cut them a check for $5,000, but if they've already got more than
well,
that,
we never contributed our first 5,000. They had 5,000 at the beginning of the statement as of 9/30/2020. There was a balance of $5,300. We did not contribute our $5,000 at that time. So we are obligated $5,000.
But just to be fair, we did remodel the bathrooms with our money, and we used our grant funds to completely remodel the auditorium. So it's not like we've been sitting on our thumbs here.
I agree. I'm just stating what was said in the contract
Okay.
based on that.
All right, we take no action on item number 18. Contractually prohibited from doing that. Item number 19, discussion action in regard to purchase of the building for EMS. Mr. Creech.
before Mr. Creech begins, I have a question. Are we supposed to go into executive session if we're going to talk about purchasing real estate or selling real estate? I mean, if we start talking about buying real estate and somebody else sees it,
I'm sorry, and somebody what?
and then somebody else says, oh, well, we didn't know that was for sale, they go out and buy it first. I'm just asking. I don't know. I've always thought the Commissioners Court went into.
There's no need to go into
Okay.
executive session here.
Okay.
Good evening. All right, one of the things, as I came back as EMS administrator a little over a year ago and went into the quarters that we have now, I was shocked, is a good word. We were able to extend it by a little bit more room, adding 2 more rooms and a bathroom. But one of the things I did realize, and with Judge Bennett and several other commissioners, we all knew that this wasn't going to be working. We knew we weren't going to spend the rest of our life there, which for Creek, we don't know how many days that's going to be. But the issue here is that we found a building on 414 West Ward Street that was the Goliad Funeral Home that is up for sale. After several of us all looking at it and seeing what the price was, and I'll be honest with you, been able to take my crews over there to look at it, we all agreed this would be the perfect home for the rest of the life of Goliad EMS. And so I didn't measure it, but like I said, I've had some metal people over there. If we look at the awning, that one awning's kind of low, but it can be engineered up to where we will be able to move it up and have the 2 bays that will move it up. We'll be able to park our ambulances in there, have 4 bays. The inside of the building is going to be really pretty easily refurnished or being up the walls. The biggest deal is the bedroom putting in the deal. We can use that, able to put the bedrooms in there. It's got bathrooms. We'll be able to put a shower in there. And I think you're going to find out it's going to be a multi-use building, especially when we worry about hurricanes and stuff. It's a metal building. It's 9 years old, and we'll have plenty of room if something happens, if we have to have the EOC or whatever. So, any questions?
And the fair market value of that property is what we're going to buy it for or sell it for possibly? Or he's selling it for the owner?
I think the fair market value is above what we've made a deal for.
Okay.
And we've made a deal for 350. I need to go ahead and say that again, this is no cost to the county of Goliad. We received roughly $750,000 from the American Recovery Act. We've spent $150 for a scanner for the sheriff, and we have the remainder of that $750 left. We will get the second half, another $750, late in this year, I believe. Those funds all have to be expended by fiscal year 2026. We've checked all the boxes. This purchase definitely qualifies under the terms of the American Recovery Act. No dollars out of our pocket. So I think it's a step in the right direction. We'll get EMS put to bed permanently now, and I believe it'll make a good home for them.
And the remodeling funds will come out of the same ARP funds to do the
Come out of the
remodeling?
American Recovery Act, and we will still have over 300 left in that account, and we'll be getting another 750 towards the end of the year.
I just want to make sure that, we've done due diligence. We understand there's a fiduciary responsibility that we all have. And so as we progressed in this last year, we've looked at several different ways for looking for grants. We've written several grants trying to find the money to build an EMS building. Wasn't able to do. And when we start looking at plans, the ones that we had, every time we started to look at what it would cost, and this was before the money that it's cost now, pre-8% inflation, we're still looking at $800,000 to $900,000 to $1.3 million if we really wanted a building. And we can make this compatible for what we were looking for.
And what are you going to do with what will the county do with the current structures that EMS is
Well, it's actually,
living
if
in?
I understand right, the trailer was bought with EMS funds. So it was volunteer funds or whatever. I don't know. But I understand that we'll try to sell them if somebody in the county wants them, we'll do that one right there. And one of the things we were looking at, if we look at what that trailer is worth or whatever, part of the funds, and we can pick a number out of wherever we want to. Just say the trailer and the other house that we put in, whatever, is worth $40,000. Well, there's $40,000 that is relieved from the relief funds, because it's $40,000 of EMS is putting back into our facility. Does that answer your question?
Well, right. Yeah, and then Mr. Edwards will also have his more location, more space in his precinct yard.
I know he's mentioned that after I leave, it will too.
Any other questions for Mr. Creech? If not, I'd like to have a motion to buy this piece of property.
There is limitations on these ARPA funds that we have to keep the purchase below a certain dollar amount. If not, then it becomes a capital expenditure and it will not qualify. So we can't, it's not just an open check to do this. We have to do it for as least amount of money as we can so we don't trigger it becoming considered a capital expenditure under the grant, and then it won't be qualified. There's a whole bunch of hoops you have to jump through in order to use the funds for that. So as long as we are reasonable and don't expend more than probably $500,000, we should be okay.
How much was the amount you said?
I'm sorry, $500,000 probably, if that should hopefully.
We'll be way under that, and I'm hoping that the proceeds from the mobile homes and other structures over there will help with the shortfall. Any other questions? If not, I'd like to have a motion to purchase this property on Ward Street.
Can we have the exact amount, Judge, in there?
You know what?
The exact amount that we're going to expend for the?
It's $350,000 is the asking price.
Okay.
Is the price we made a deal on. No, I don't know what closing costs are. I do not know what the closing costs are, but those will be added on to it. Anyone else have a question?
I'll make a motion, we purchase this property and do the renovations with a top dollar amount coming out of the ARPA money of 500,000. Right, okay.
Need a second on that, please?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public announcements. It rained.
Yes, it did.
There's a prayer thing at 7:30 out here.
Sir?
There's a prayer for rain on the square at 7:30 I saw today.
So, I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.